In this video, I'm going to cover the functions of the sampler and go ahead and show you how to plug your turntable into your Akai Force so you can sample records. Check it out. What's up everybody, my name is Matthew Stratton and I do videos to go ahead and help you create music. One of the ways I help you create music is by making videos covering items. I cover the Akai Force, I cover the MPC Live. So if you're new here, consider subscribing so you can get the updates on the new videos. So in this particular video, I'm going to cover all the functions of the sampler, and what I am sampling is actually vinyl. Okay, so I have right here, if you look, the Audio-Technica ATL LP60. So the ATL LP60 is the automatic turntable. It has different speed options here and it has different size options here. And basically you just push start and it puts the needle on the record for you. Very simple to use. And it is possible to use this model with the line inputs on the Akai Professional Force. And I'll show you how I do that. Okay, so on the back of this unit, there's a switch for line. So if you switch the turntable to line, it gives you a nice input on the signal. This way you could plug the turntable right into your Akai Force and get a nice strong signal. All right, and if you want more information about this turntable, look in the description. I'll go ahead and put a link for it so you could go ahead and check out this turntable and get more information about it. So if you look right here on the back of the Akai Force, maybe I'll put a picture. I can't really show, too much detail. There are two inputs on the back right here. It's going to give you input 1 and 2. So basically 1 is generally left, 2 is right. There are volume knobs for each of the inputs, and there's a switch for line or instrument for each of the inputs, okay? And there's also a switch here for microphone, okay? So you could keep your phantom power off for this, and you could put these two switches on line. You'll see here, I have RCA cables, okay? But I'm using these adapters to make them 1/4 inch. This way I could plug them right into the Akai Force. Okay, and then I have the input signals turned down on the Force. I'm going to put right here, I want to put the white one on 1, and I want to put the red one on number 2, and that's going to give me my stereo input right into the Force. All right, so you can already see the Force is powered on and everything. What I want to do is just go to an empty project. Okay, so this way we actually have access to the sampler. So I'm going to go to menu, and you can see right here, there's a mode for sampler. Tap into that. So once we're in the sampler here, you can see there's a few options. All right, so I'm going to go over each one of these options. This way you have an idea of basically what the sampler can do. All right, so at the top here, the first thing we have is input. So right here, I have input 1 and 2 selected, but you can see I could select input 1 individually or input 2 individually. Underneath input 2, you'll see resample. So I have resample left, resample right, resample left and right. So it's actually possible to resample whatever's going on in the Akai Force. So if you had a scene that you wanted to record in here, you could resample it and assign it to a clip, and you can have that whole scene on one clip that way. For now, I'm just going to put input 1 and 2. All right, you can see under the input, we got output. So I have the output on stereo, or you could pick mono. So if you put it on mono, it's just going to convert the input 1 and 2 into one signal. Okay, I'm going to keep it on stereo. Underneath there, we have inserts. So these effects actually go right onto whatever you're sampling. So if I insert a reverb, it's going to put a reverb on whatever I have sampled. If I insert distortion, it's going to have distortion, etc. All right, and I can have up to 4 different effects. I could add the effects right here. So I'll give an example of this as we go. Let me go ahead and click out of that for now. Right here is threshold. This correlates with the arm. So if I have the threshold on infinity, basically when I hit arm, it's going to start recording. All right, let me discard that. But if I put the threshold up, anywhere, say -20, when I arm it, you can see it didn't start recording right away. Okay, and then you have the option to go ahead and hit record manually, or when the audio signal comes in, once it goes beyond that threshold, it's going to start recording. So I'll give you an example of that in a minute. All right, just to the left and under threshold, we have monitor. So if I turn that on, I can monitor the signal, and that's going to give me the monitor of all the insert effects as well. So therefore, the monitor signal will have a little bit of latency because it has to go through all of those effects. I'll give you an example of that in a minute. I'm going to keep it off for now. So the next section over here is sampled length. Now we can see we got minutes, seconds, milliseconds. So basically whenever you start the recording, it's going to count and tell you how long the recording is. And there is a maximum record of 15 minutes. All right, you can see right there, I cannot go past 15 minutes. Now I could put it down to like a minute or, 20 seconds, what have you. I'm just going to keep it on 15 minutes because I can start and stop the recording as I want to. Okay, so you can see right here, this is the arm button. So when I arm it, it's going to arm it for recording. So therefore, once it gets a signal and the signal goes past the threshold, it's going to start recording. And again, if I had the threshold all the way down, it'll start recording. And then you can see here, if I wanted to start recording, I could start recording at any time. I could stop it at any time. Let me discard that. So there's one other thing I want to show you on the screen. If I push arm and start recording, I can add slices here. So if I add slices, those slices are actually going to show up in the sample editor. And in this way, I can go ahead and adjust those slices as I want, or I can assign those slices into a drum program. To the right of arm is the auto sampler. So I'll cover the auto sampler in a different video. That needs a video all to itself. I just wanted to show you that. So the following explanation is going to be based on my experience. All right. So I got input 1 and 2 and the output stereo, and I don't have any effects. Now I have the inputs turned all the way down. I need to turn those up. But before I do, I'm going to go ahead and start my turntable. All right, so now that the needle has landed, you can see I get an input. And yeah, everything's turned down. So let me go ahead and turn up. Boom, you can see right there, I'm getting a signal. All right, so you don't want that signal to go past 0. So, sometimes I'll just put it at like -3, just in case it gets louder, somewhere around there. All right, and I'll go ahead and turn up the signal on the other input here. Now you can see right there, let me show you. You see how it's peaking? You don't really want it peaking like that. You want to keep it down, or else it's going to distort it. All right, unless you're trying to achieve some kind of distortion effects. Let me go back to where I'm actually going to record the sample, because I want to set the level according to the piece of work I'm actually going to sample. All right, you can see I'm around -3. So I'm good with that. Let me go ahead and stop it. Now I am actually recording the outputs of the Akai Force, and you can hear that we couldn't hear anything. And I have all the default settings. That's just the way it is, okay? But if we did want to hear that, if we push monitor, we can hear the signal. Okay, so let me go ahead and push start again. Now the needle is going to drop on the record, and when it does, we're going to be able to hear that signal. All right, you can already hear it. So if I take monitor off, you don't hear it. Okay, so this is how it functions as of 3.0.1. All right. All right, let me stop that, and then I'll restart it again at the beginning. All right, because I just want to sample the beginning of this record, okay? So I'm going to push start again. I'm going to turn monitor on. I'm going to go into my insert effects, just so we can hear that. All right, so say I wanted a delay or something like that. I just want to pick something that's obvious. So that's why I'm going to pick delay. If I turn it off, you don't hear it. All right, if I turn it on, you hear it. All right, I just wanted to show you that. Now you can actually record these effects right into the sample. So anything you have here on the insert is going to get recorded right into your sample. So that could be beneficial, okay? So let me give you an example of that, just so you can actually see it. All right, so I want to put a phaser on there, okay? Let me put it like something really obvious again. Busy eighths, that's probably going to be obvious. All right, so I'm going to start it. Now you can hear the phase. I'm going to start recording it. Now I want to turn the phaser off. No phase, phase. All right, high phase, what have you. So let me go ahead and stop that. Okay, I want to stop the recording. So whenever you stop the recording, you get this screen here. We can keep or discard the sample. Okay, and we can rename it. We can select what track we want it on. I'm going to push play. You can see right here, we can push play, discard, keep. All right, so let's go ahead and listen to this sample. Now you can already hear the phaser very strong in that sample. And you can hear I was changing in settings too. So it recorded all the different little changes I made. All right, I'm going to discard that for the moment. So the last thing I want to show you is when you're recording your sample, you can add slices. So I want to go ahead and show you that and show you how those slices show up in your sample editor. So I'm going to arm it, push start. It's going to drop the needle, okay? And you can see right here, positive slices. So I'm going to wait for it to get in. All right, stop the record there. All right, so I can rename this here. So I could put sample 1 if I wanted, do it. I can assign it to a track. You have to actually have a drum track loaded up in here first to be able to assign it to that track. And if you did want that, okay, you could pick whatever drum track you want, and then right here you'd be able to assign it to a pad. But I didn't load that up, so I'm just going to keep it. Okay, so once I press keep it, I'm going to go to my menu and sample edit. Right there, you can see how it shows up. You can see there's slices. So I'm on slice 1 and it's on trim. I could trim it if I want. I'm just going to go over to chop. All right, now we can see all our chops. I could still trim it if I wanted to bring this in. All right, and if I hit this right here at the top, little speaker icon, and I could zoom in right here with these. I can audition the samples with that speaker, or if I wanted to, I could go ahead and push shift, convert, new drum track using slices, do it. All right, so if I go ahead and select that new drum track, you can see right there, now I have options to go ahead and adjust the pads right there within the sample editor. And the sample editor deserved its own video, so I'll go ahead and cover that in a different video, but that's what I want to cover in this video. All right, so I'm going to put these videos in a new playlist. So I'm going to make a playlist covering the different modes within the Akai Force. So go ahead and click right there. That's going to take you to the new playlist, and therefore you could go ahead and check out the videos about the different modes. All right, so if you found value in the video, give it a thumbs up below. And if you're new to the channel, go ahead and consider subscribing, click the bell icon. That way you get notified whenever I come out with the new videos. My name is Matthew. Continue to create music, and we'll talk soon. Peace.